Ladies and gentlemen, I feel so honored and privileged to be part of this important project to commemorate by music the victims and the survivors of the Holocaust. The Holocaust that took place in World War II was the evil of the humankind. During this Holocaust, 6 million Jews were murdered in gas chambers and others of millions who got killed in the battlefield. I think it's very important to know that those events, those horrors, will be always remembered by the humankind. That's why I have decided 15 years ago to come with a new initiative and to bring an Israeli proposal to the plenary of the United Nations to form an international day to commemorate the Holocaust. Many told me not to do it because there is no chance that we will get the support of those hostile countries. But I didn't give up. For so long, we worked from one country to another, and finally, 141 countries voted in favor, while even not one of them, not even Iran or other extreme Arab countries, voted against. Since then, we commemorate the Holocaust, the International Day of the Holocaust, on the 27th of January each day. This day was chosen because it was the day of the liberation of the Auschwitz concentration camp. That was the symbol of the evil of the Holocaust. The most important thing behind this resolution is that we will never let the world to forget what's happened then, but I think more important even than that is to enable the young generation to know really what's happened then in those dark days. In every 27th of January, in most of the world, let's say in most of the free world, they are commemorating those days of evil of the humankind. They are having many events in the parliaments, in ceremonies, but most important, in schools. Those children, they don't know nothing about what's happened just a few decades ago, are knowing for the first time what's really happened there. And from one year to another, it will keep them as generation that can tell the story to others. Unfortunately, the number of survivors is going down and down. And in short time, there will be no survivors to tell about what's happened then during the World War II. I think that it's very important for all of us to realize that something like that can happen again if we are not going to combat it, if we are not going to fight it. We can see those days, unfortunately, that the anti-Semitism is rising once again, that evil and hatred is coming in all over the world against so many. It can come against Jews, against gypsies, against black people, and against many others. We have to fight them back in order to bring equality to any human being around the world. And in order to do it, we need to educate the young generation. We need to put it in the media. We need to put it in the press. We need to put it in schools. We need to put it in parliaments and in all over the world. There are many survivors that can tell their stories. Everyone has his own personal story. But one thing is in common. All of them are so awful. And we know it from first hand, because my family suffered a lot from the Nazis as well. The grandmother of my children, from their mother's side, were forced to leave her family and to escape to the forest when the Nazis arrived to their town. She joined to the partisans, and finally she survived, but she never was willing to tell us how she managed to do it. All her brothers and sisters, except one, and of course her parents, her grandparents, all of them, unfortunately, were murdered. The same happened to my family. My family that arrived from Tunisia faced the horror of the Nazis as well. I remember a story that was told by my grandmother many times, that when the Nazis arrived to their home, they knocked on the door, they knocked on the gate of the yard. And when she opened the gate and she found them there, she was pushing the gate back in order to close it. They were very, very upset and they wanted to shoot the gate. Only because one of the neighbors told them that she is not doing it because of them, but because she was educated not to open the door for foreign people, they said that they will come later. My family took advantage of this break and they escaped. And they used to stay 6 months out of their home, while some other uncles of mine were forced to go to a labor camp and to build their airports and roads. So this Holocaust arrived everywhere, but of course, mainly it was in Europe. And while we are facing today such a great program that is enabling people to know what's happened there by music in a co-production of Germany and Israel, it makes all of us feel that finally we did it in the right way. Because the Jews can live today in much safer way. We established the Jewish nation and the Jewish state. We established the Jewish state for the Jewish nation, for the Jewish people. And this state is flourishing and thriving. And this really, really makes us so proud to know that the Jewish people survive and the Jewish people will survive forever. We all, of course, share the loss of so many that could help the humankind so much. But in the same time that we commemorate the victims and we commemorate the heroes that survived, we always know that only because of them we could really feel free and safe in our independent country. So thank you for the opportunity, thank you for your project, and thank you for everything you are doing in order to commemorate those dark and awful days. Thank you.